Hello, 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 my friends. I am so excited to be having this conversation with you all today. It is, for me, I think one of the most powerful shifts or tools that we can learn and embody and practice to like take our relationship to the next level. Because what we're going to get into today is how to stay connected, no matter how much time you get together, no matter how busy your life is, and like create that connection in a way that feels meaningful. And this is so important because connection, right? Connection is everything. It's the warm fuzzies, it's the energies, it's the recharge, it's the safety, it's the companionship, it's the sense of partnership of we and us and love. Connection is how all of those good feeling energies flow through us and between us in our relationships. And disconnection, right? Distance, disconnection. This is where we experience like that suffering, the discomfort, the frustration, the unhappiness in our relationship. So disconnection is what we all don't want, right? Connection is what we all do want. And because most of us, especially if you're an entrepreneur, have insanely busy lives. You got your business or your career, you got your kids, you got your daily responsibilities, you've got other friendships, relationships, your personal health goals, right? Like it just, life is so full and so busy. Most of us experience challenges in coming back into this connection with our partners. To say nothing about like staying in connection during those busy times, right? Before we know it, like days or even weeks can pass without truly connecting with our partner. And here's the truth that I really want you to hear, and I'll talk more about this in a bit, but staying close and connected isn't about having or creating more time. See, that's where most people get it wrong and where we feel so stuck and like this is an impossible thing to do because how do you create more time in a busy life? Staying connection is about taking ownership of the process of creating that connection. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to how to do that so you can feel deeply connected no matter how full your life is. Good stuff, right? Before I dive into that, I want to take a minute to introduce myself for those who might be new to our work. My name is Dr. Jenny Wallig. I am the other half of the Powerful Love Relationships team with my partner and soulmate, Calvin O'Seely. I'm also the co-creator of the three-part Powerful Love Method, which is our proven approach that helps you take your relationships to their next level, even if your partner isn't actively participating in that level up journey. So at Powerful Love, we don't just teach relationship skills. We redefine how relationships work and what's possible within them. We we're anchored in bold, transformational beliefs that challenge conventional wisdom. And I think these are really important to be aware of in our work, right? So we believe that relationships are the foundation of all of our success. Everything is a relationship. And every achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of joy is either fueled or hindered by the quality of our relationships. Okay? So, relationships are essential to all of your dreams coming true, to your well being in every aspect of life. We also believe that most of this world's suffering, including your own, including my own, comes from relationships that aren't working or moments of a relationship that aren't working. And so when we transform our relationships, we transform our lives, we transform the world. And all of that starts with transforming ourselves. Okay? Which leads me to another belief, which is that our relationships are divinely designed for each of our own personal evolutions. As you elevate who you be, your relationships will follow. And that's the purpose of your relationship, so that you can elevate who you be. And in so doing, we elevate the world, right? Our greatest power comes from taking 100% responsibility for the love that we create and that we experience. So when you come to these trainings with us, or when you're looking at the content that we offer and the work that we do with our clients, this is not about just learning new skills or getting your partner to understand so that they be different. It's about empowering you to level up who you be, to level up your relational self so that you're more effective in everything that you are doing in your relationships. And again, everything is relationship. Final belief that I want to just take a minute to share today. Your relationships, or the challenges in your relationships, whatever relationship it is not an obstacle. It is an invitation, right? Every struggle, every disconnect, every hard part is an opportunity for you to grow into the next level version of yourself. These beliefs are why our work is so impactful, because we're not just about fixing problems. We're about who we can become in order to create a relationship that fuels our success, our happiness, and our highest potential. So we're talking today about connection, right? And how to stay connected, because as I said, connection is the thing that creates the energy, creates that fuel for our success. But many people fall into the trap of thinking that connection is something that just should happen. And if they love each other, if their relationship is good, then they'll naturally feel close, even in the busyness of life. Or that if we love each other and our relationship is good, when we spend time together, we're going to feel close and connected. Listen, I know from experience, there ain't nothing worse than feeling disconnected and be like, oh, we finally got some time together, and then spending that time and still feeling like strangers in the same room. Spending time together does not guarantee that you're going to feel connected to your partner. Right? You know this. So what is it that creates connection? How do we be and return to and sustain connection when we hardly have any time, when we do have that little bit of time, but we haven't been connected for a while, when life is crazy and thinking about our partner, our relationship is the last thing on our minds? That's the secret that I want to share with you. Connection doesn't just happen. It is deliberately created. But if you're not deliberately creating it, then disconnection is going to be your default. So the secret in short, I'm going to tell you the secret in short, and then I'm going to tell you how to actually apply it. But the secret in short to stay in connection, even in the busiest seasons of your life, is to take full and personal ownership for creating connection within yourself, to your partner, and between you and your partner. There's a difference. I'll get into that. So 5 pieces here under this umbrella secret, right? Of if you want to be in greater connection, take full ownership for creating it. Don't just assume it's going to happen because your relationship is good, because you love each other, because you've got time together. Intentionality. This is a theme. Consciousness and intentionality. You will see and hear us talk about this again and again and again, because it is the game changer. And it's no different for connection. So, first piece that I want you to recognize in this shift is simply what I've just said. Connection doesn't happen automatically. You create it. This is an awareness. Anchor into this awareness. Stop waiting for your partner to do something for you to feel connected, right? Stop waiting for the perfect time or the perfect date to happen so that you can feel connected. Instead, Ask yourself, when do I feel the most connected? Use that information to inform how you can set that up for success. What helps you get there? What helps you feel connected? Right? I know for me, like having time to connect intimately helps me to connect intimately, helps like prioritize it. But I don't get there just because we've got a weekend without the kids. But I've realized what can help me get there is a massage. Helps me like drop into my body. That helps me feel connected to Cal, loved by Cal. And that creates a greater opening for me to connect intimately. That's just one example, right? But you have to be aware of how you connect and what helps you connect so that you can foster it, set it up for success, right? Second piece, change your story about being disconnected. This idea that we're always so disconnected, it's hard to connect, we don't have time to connect. When you are rehearsing this story in your mind, there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system that is going to find evidence to confirm what you believe and what you expect. It is going to feel very compellingly true that it is hard to connect because look at all this evidence. But I want you to know right now that that evidence is skewed because it is what a part of your brain has been paying attention to because it's the belief that you've been holding about connection. If you change your story about what is possible with connection, you will find evidence to support the new story. This is part of the power that you have. Okay? So rewire your mindset. Yes, I want more time with my partner. That can be true. And we are still deeply connected, even in the busyness. That's a new story. And if that becomes what you're rehearsing, if that's your talk track, that becomes your reality. Your connection isn't just about time together. It's about the energy and intention you bring to the relationship, right? So first, you got to believe. You got to decide it's possible. You got to believe that you can be connected even when you're busy, even when you're not seeing one another. And you got to start telling yourself the story that connection is easy, that you are connected, that you have access to connection, that there's ways to connect even right now, even in the busyness. All of those shifts in your mindset are going to open up the door for greater ease of and continued experience of connection with your partner. Which brings me to the third thing that I want to say. True connection doesn't happen because of time or proximity or even interaction with your partner. Connection happens in your heart and in your mind. This is why you can be with your partner in great big open spaces of time where you're not busy and not feel connected. You could go on a date and have a beautiful dinner and like walk away not connected, spend time scrolling on your phone. I'll never forget the experience I had with Calvin that taught me this. We'd been feeling disconnected. I don't remember what was going on in our life, but it had been a long time since we had time together. And I was just really like, I was feeling the loss of connection. I was feeling grumpy about our disconnection. I just really wanted to be back in connection with him. So we planned this lovely date with one another. We did dinner. We did, I think we did a movie. I think we did a walk. And even though we were doing all these things we usually really enjoy and that often bring us into connection, I remember we were parked and charging our electric car. And I was sitting there, I'm like, I still feel really disconnected. Like he's on his phone, I'm on my phone. And it's like, man, we finally got this time together and I'm still feeling really disconnected. Like what gives? And finally, it downloaded for me that I was in this story of like, we're disconnected. I was focusing on not being connected. And so that's what I was feeling. And B, like my mind and heart were not focused on on my love for him, on appreciation for this time, on how amazing it is that we're in this relationship. And so I started to like connect with that within, like, he's sitting right there, he's just still scrolling on his phone, but now I'm connecting to like why I love him. I'm connecting within my own mind and heart space to why our relationship is so special, so extraordinary, to how amazing it is that we found each other and the billions of people and all the paths in our life that brought us together. And I start thinking about the life that Cal led and how incredible he is as a human being and how lucky I feel that he chose me, and how just like wild and epic our story, our love story has been, and what we get to do in the world together. And now all of a sudden at the end of this date, when we're not actually doing anything to connect, he's just scrolling in our phone. Now I fucking feel more connected to him than I had all evening, because I shifted what was happening in my heart and in my mind. And I realized that is where connection really occurs. If you can connect to it internally in your spirit, through the quantum mechanic entanglements that you and your partner have, if you can create the resonance of connection, the warm, fuzzy feeling within yourself, regardless of what your partner's doing, regardless of how much time you have together, regardless of whether they're near you, you will foster, you will nurture, you will create the feeling of connection. And then guess what? You're going to respond. You're going to reach out with that energy, with that frequency, and they're going to feel it and they're going to vibrate with it. And then it's going to come back to you and it's going to frickin' grow. It's magic, y'all. I'm not kidding. This is magic. You don't need your partner. You don't need time. You don't need to be less busy. You just need you and the decision, the deliberate creation within your mind and body and heart, right? To be in connection. Pretty freaking cool, right? I think so. Okay, a couple more things. That said, right, you do also need to make time for connection. Even if it's just making time to like do like a 2-minute like gratitude of your partner when you're like aware that you're feeling disconnected, that's making time. Okay? It is rare in our busy lives that life will just open up and give us time, or that we'll find it, right? Like finding a magical like pile of money on the ground. No, we make it, we create it, okay? You need to prioritize connection in your life, right? Whether that means prioritizing time for sex and intimacy, prioritizing time for conversations, prioritizing time to have like dream conversations about your future, right? To dream together, to snuggle, or just to send a text message that says, I miss you, or I'm thinking about you, or I'm so grateful for you, and to connect to that internally. All of that requires deliberate, conscious action on your part, which means taking some time. Doesn't have to be a lot of time, but it has to be some time that you prioritize. And here's a funny thing about time, my friends. When you prioritize the like big things in your life, the things that are really most important to you, like connecting with your partner, like having those conversations, like going on dates, like taking care of yourself, like having sex, all the other things that your mind is like screaming at you that have to get done, they find a place. Like time stretches, time will expand. It's really wild. And if things don't get done, they weren't that important to do. So do the things that are most important too, not necessarily the things that are most urgent, right? This is time management stuff, but like it's relevant to our relationships, especially in our busy lives. So think about like what helps you feel connected. What kind of like ways can you create a little bit more space to connect to your partner? Again, even if it's just a minute or two a day. Set a reminder on your phone. I just said this to a client yesterday. Set a reminder on your phone to text your spouse during your busy work day so that you can connect with her. And do it once a day. Just start with once a day. And there you go. Now you're in greater connection. But it has to be intentional. Remember that theme? Intentionality. Last piece about connection. I had a lot to say here because, again, connection is everything. When you are noticing that you are in disconnection, it is your responsibility to do a thing to create more connection. And part of that responsibility can and often must look like a bid for connection to your partner. That means turning toward them. That means the small moments of inviting them into connection, right? Smiling at them, touching their shoulder as you walk past them, sending that text saying, I'm thinking about you, reaching out for a hug and allowing that hug to linger, asking for a kiss if you need it, right? Asking, like, let's plan a date, initiating sex, whatever that is. Take ownership. You know that you are craving more connection. That means that you get to now be responsible for taking the next step in the general direction to help create that. The other half of this equation, though, is accepting your partner's bids for connection. This is essential. So when you bid for your connection, even something as little as like when you're scrolling your phone saying like, oh my God, this is so funny. When you say that out loud next to your partner who's also scrolling that phone, you just made a bid for connection. You're inviting them into your world. So if you hear your partner do something like that, or you hear your partner say like, hey, can I talk to you? Or can I get a hug? Or respond to that lovingly. Bridge that gap. They're making the invitation, respond. RSVP. Be like, oh, what's interesting? What's so funny? Show me. What are you laughing at? Right? What are you reading? If you hear them, like giggling while they're reading their book. Get curious. Step into their invitations. Respond. Last night I made an invitation, a bid for connection to Cal to kiss me. And he gave me like a little peck and I wanted a deeper kiss. So I asked him for that. And there was some resistance because he was worried that like his breath was stinky or something. It wasn't. I can't smell anything anyways. But in that moment where he wasn't refusing, but there wasn't like an open welcoming of my invitation for connection. Like I felt it. It felt a little bit like rejection. It felt like more disconnection. So know that your response to a partner's bid for connection, and by the way, Cal repaired because I was able to say like, hey, you're not accepting my bids. He course corrected. But know that the way that not only that you ask for bids for connection and whether you're doing that at all, as well as how you're responding to and engaging with your partner's bids for connection, that is a part of building this culture, right? Like setting connecting as your new standard, as a new expectation of how things be between the two of you. So that's the secret. Again, the umbrella secret, take full ownership of creating connection. Be intentional about it. And then you can have it whenever you want it, no matter what. When you get good at this, my friend, when you take ownership of connection, you open the door for, like I said, connection being the standard, right? For that good, yummy, warm, fuzzy, loving, safe, joyful, like playful, happy energy, like all the things we desire to be feeling in our relationships. This is what you foster and nurture and grow. You get to stop feeling resentful because you're waiting for your partner to show up differently so you can feel connected. You stop feeling so frustrated because you don't have the time and it feels like you're never going to have the time and then life just feels crushing to you, right? You start seeing each other and feeling seen and like knowing, having more energy because you have this connection energy flowing into your system, even in the middle of a really chaotic life. And now your relationship becomes that engine, that drive, that source of passion and joy and love that you desire, and not just something else to do or pay attention to on your to-do list or worry about or feel drained by because it's not giving you what you need. This, like all of these pieces, right, that changes the game. That changes how you move through life. It changes the energy you have for everything else that matters to you, right? You get to have the relationship that you desire, and it will elevate all the rest. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. So I really truly hope that this conversation served you. And if this kind of thing is really resonating for you, and you're ready to really get support in up-leveling connection, up-leveling joy, up-leveling ease, up-leveling you, then I want you to stick around while I invite you, into our Next Level Love Momentum program. Because this program is for you who are ready to change who you be, to change to get out of the patterns that have been keeping you stuck in your relationship, and to create a relationship dynamic that is energizing, nourishing, life inspiring, growth enhancing, dream creating for all pieces of who you are. Next Level Love is for you if you are driven, committed to your relationship, and ready to build something extraordinary in love and in your life, right? You know that this relationship is for you, and you know that there is more that is possible between you and your partner, and you want it. And you're ready to take the steps to put some energy and attention and action into building and creating. You know that your relationship is foundational to all of the other pieces of the life that you desire for yourself. And you're not willing to settle for anything less than the absolute best for you and your life and what you're here for. And you know that you will thrive, flourish, really succeed when you have a structured, proven path to elevating your relationship and the support and accountability along the way that you need to get your questions answered and break through any barriers that are coming up while you're implementing your next levels. Okay? That's what Next Level Love Momentum is for. In this program, we do weekly sessions that span our 3 pillars of the Powerful Love Method, which are learning and liberating yourself from your stuck places and patterns, liberating your relationship from the places that it's not working, right? I could spend a whole thing. I think there was a recent live stream learning that I did that went into these 3 pillars. So comment 3 pillars if you want me to send you that training. But learning is a piece of it, liberation is a piece of it, and leading from love is a piece of it. Learning is the expansion in awareness and skills and tools, strategies that actually work. Liberation is the freeing of identity, of undoing programs and patterns that you're stuck in. And leading from love is the action. It's the who you be. It's the what this looks like in practice. So this program and the weekly sessions that we do are set up to make sure that you are elevating each of those 3 areas and getting all the support that you need. You also get access to our Powerful Love curriculum, our entire Path to Extraordinary Relationships library, which has over 30 videos on specific relationship like struggles and issues. You get access to a private community of like-minded and ambitious couples who are committed to this work. And you get our support, right? Opportunities for asking questions, getting support and mentorship along the way. Everything that you need to be set up for success, we want to give you. And there's some more things, right? Like access to the programs that we're doing, and lots of really good stuff. I'm not going to get into all of the details of what you get and what this is all about right now, because I've already been talking for too long, longer than I desired. But if you know that you want your relationship to be easier, deeper, and more fulfilling, Next Level Love Momentum is the way to get there. Whether you're feeling disconnected, or you're struggling with recurring challenges, or even if you're on the brink of like breaking up, you're thinking about it. Our methodology is going to give you the tools, the path, and the support that you need to elevate your relationship to its next level, no matter where you're starting. And the best part is, what we do isn't just a single breakthrough, right? We're all about creating lasting spiral so your relationship can continue to evolve and up-level and thrive and support all of your dreams higher and higher and higher, even in the face of life's inevitable challenges. So if that's sounding like exactly what you need and you want to learn more about it, then we need to talk. Here's what you got to do. Comment on this video, Next Level, and I will reach out and we'll schedule time to chat to see if Next Level Love is the solution for your next level in all things through the lens of your relationship in your life. All right, I love you. Thank you for sticking around, and I really do hope this serves you. I look forward to seeing you next week for another live stream learning and hopefully talking to you soon.